eventually I found a different purpose for competing and fighting, and I think that's what brought me here to Japan, is that all my best friends are in the jiu-jitsu or the fighting world. I mean, these are people that, you know, would take a bullet for me. So these are the kind of people, and you really have to have people like that when you're training for professional fights. Particularly, you know, there are times where you're exhausted and you know, you need to be carried through. If you have someone who walks in there and they're fresh and they don't know that you're tired, they might crank you and try to knock you out maybe like a week before the fight. So it's dangerous to have people like that around that you don't trust. So you have to have people that trust you, that will push you to your maximum without breaking you before you get in the ring, but just to be able to push, you know, to see how much heart you really have. So, but not to hurt the person. So it's definitely important to have that kind of friendship when you're a professional fighter. And you're only as good as your team. That's the way I see it. I have amazing teammates that, you know, every day, you know, come in and give me 5 minutes of their time. You know, and if each person gives me 5 minutes of their time, that means that, you know, I get good training out of it, you know. So there is a lot of sacrifice, even from people who are non-pros. Even if they come in and just let me drill on them and they hold pads for me or they wrestle with me, I mean, they're always a part of it, and I think it's exciting for them as well. A lot of times I get questions like, why do you still wear the gi? For me, first and foremost, I'm a martial artist, and second, a professional fighter. Like, it's not about going in the ring and just beating people up. For me, this is a lifestyle, and this is something I love to do, and I'll be doing for the rest of my life. It's not about, you know, beating people up. It's not about, okay, you're winning all these fights. It's about your knowledge and being a good friend and being a good person, being a good family man. So everything that goes into it, you know, to get your black belt. So it's not just the fighting. I think that's a misconception people have, especially with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Because in reality, it is a very effective martial art on its own, even today. And it's a prerequisite to have as a fighter. And there's something you can obviously look into afterwards. But the gi is part of the tradition of Jiu-Jitsu, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And I'm a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu fighter, so I'll always wear the gi.
He actually admires his opponents, which I believe in. I like that kind of attitude. I don't like that sort of, well, I hate this other guy, and it gets all personal. I believe martial arts is a way of life, and the idea of sort of not idealizing your opponent, but honoring your opponent because he's living the same life you're living is the way to look at it. Tony's always been that way, and I think it gels with a lot of guys at the top level, because all the top level guys that we've ever met, I can't say there's one top level guy that doesn't have that same kind of attitude that, you know what, we're in this together, we want to see who the best guy is in the situation, and Tony mentally has that.
I think like everybody in life, you try to look for something that empowers you, especially if you've been put down. I mean, I'm not saying I had a rough life, because I didn't. My parents are fantastic people. I was, you know, but I lived I actually was born in Canada originally, and then I went to Portugal when I was about 9-10 years old, and just being from, even though I'm full Portuguese blood, I mean, I got made fun of like everybody else, and everyone's, you know, dealt with bullies and things of that nature. But I kind of took it pretty hard. I thought, you know, as a child, and I had a lot of bad experiences, like really bad experiences as a child, particularly even from adults, you know, telling me that I wouldn't amount to nothing, and you know, that I was garbage. Stuff like that sticks with you for the rest of your life.
まあオールラウンダーである。
Well, he's kind of all round, and so his striking is kind of unique. So it's not really like kickboxing or Muay Thai. So I think he has his own style.
Masa has been around for a while, and he's got great wrestling. He's very strong for the weight class for 56 kilos. I think he's incredibly powerful, because I wrestle with him and I play with him. You know, I do jiu-jitsu with him, and normally I have about 10 kilograms, so you know, 20 pounds on him, and he does fine. So he hits very hard, and he's a scrapper. And I think Masa will turn this into a fight, not a jiu-jitsu match. And I think in the end, that's where Masa's going to come out on top. He's going to brawl it out and win. Yeah, absolutely. I think he's going to outwork him, and he's just going to grind it and beat him up and fight and pound and punch and kick and take down and land on top. And you know, don't expect Masa to be on his back. He'll get up. You know, he's one of those guys. So I'm very confident in him and his abilities as a fighter.
マサはいつもない。
Masa? We have been training for a long time, so I hope he's gonna win. And his strength is throwing. So I think his throwing is very his strength. So he's gonna be doing good striking and throwing.